We're now 2 weeks away from Election Day, and the battle for North Carolina is on. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump virtually tied in the Tar Heel state in the latest Monmouth University poll. In a three-way race, Clinton has 47% support among likely voters. Trump is 46% support. Gary Johnson has 4%. Both Clinton and Trump are gaining support, while Gary Johnson has slipped since August. I want to bring in North Carolina Congresswoman Renee Ellmers. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, what do you think about this race right now? How would you characterize this tight race in North Carolina? What are you hearing from voters?
Oh, there is such enthusiasm for Donald Trump in North Carolina, you know, just across the state. I know he's spending a lot of time here. Mike Pence is spending a lot of time in North Carolina. People are just going nuts. There are signs everywhere for Donald Trump. You don't see that enthusiasm for Hillary Clinton. Early voting started late last week, and, you know, a lot of folks have been going out to the polls, and there are some issues here in North Carolina that are, you know, on both sides of the aisle, very important to our Democrat friends and our Republican friends. But I'll tell you what, Donald Trump appeals to all. He is not a one-party person. He is the presidential candidate for America. And boy, I'll tell you, I heard you just a moment ago talking about Obamacare.
Right.
What a failure it is by design. And those of us who were out there saying that it was by design at the time, we were told we were crazy, because if you remember, you know, premiums were supposed to come down by $2,500 for family. You know, I've got a family in North Carolina whose rate, a family of four, his premium is going to go up to over $2,800 per month. That is outrageous. So my answer to everyone when it comes to this Obamacare question is vote Donald Trump, because Hillary Clinton is just going to keep it going.
So what do you think are the most important issues for voters in North Carolina? Is it Obamacare, or what else? What are they most interested in?
Well, you know, national security, for one. That's the top issue. And when I say that, I mean, we're talking about, you know, men and women. Women, you know, we need that women's vote in every election. Obviously, in this one, I've always said that women are going to be the ones that determine the next president of this country.
Right.
But when we're talking about the issues, it's national security. You know, we are a heavy military state here, and we are a heavy veteran state. We have more veterans coming back. So those are issues that are very important. But at the top of the list is definitely Obamacare. And, you know, North Carolina, 25% increase in premiums as for the 2017.
Well, speaking of that, Congresswoman, with the issue of Obamacare, that does go to the women's vote, because they care about the financial security of their family and their health. But does Donald Trump need a better idea or a better policy in terms of what's going to take Obamacare's place? Because all we hear is repeal and replace. Repeal and replace.
Right.
Well, replace it with what? That's the next logical question.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that is why I have been helping the Trump campaign to talk about what does that replacement look like. You know, health care savings plans, insurance portability. If you move in this country, you can't take your insurance plan with you. Buying insurance across state lines, association health care plans. These are all of the ideas that will help bring down the cost of health care insurance in the marketplace. You know, it needs to be patient-centered, not government-run, and that's what we have right now, and that's what Hillary Clinton will continue. We've got to put insurance back in the consumer's possession, but we also have to get health care back into between the patient and the doctor, and take it out of government.
Congresswoman, it's Tony Saig. Thanks for being with us. You know, North Carolina is at the center of a lot of consequential races, the presidential, obviously, and your Senate race as well. How is it going on the ground there? It's been a swing state for the last two cycles. Barack Obama won it by 0.3% in 2008. Yeah. Mitt Romney reclaimed it by about 2 points in 2012. What's the state of the race in your opinion? Forget about the polls for a minute. How are you feeling? Because you know politics there very well.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Richard Burr is doing very well. We are going to win this Senate race. I feel very confidently that he's in a very good place. He's worked very, very hard. And, you know, the people across North Carolina, especially with his, you know, we talk about military issues, we talk about national security, that's his expertise. And I think every North Carolinian feels the importance of making sure that he stays in the place that he's at, so that we can go and fight ISIS with everything that we need. You know, our governor's race, another big race that's going on. I feel very confidently that Pat McCrory is going to win our governor's race as well. He's doing a little better in the polls than, a couple of months ago. And, we've had a lot going on here in North Carolina with Hurricane Matthew coming through. He has just worked tirelessly on that effort. He's really not even on the campaign trail. He's working so hard on making sure that North Carolinians are taken care of as a result of all of the flooding and disaster that's occurred.
All right, so you're really feeling good about that. Let me ask you about California, because yesterday President Obama slammed California Congressman Darrell Issa at a California fundraiser. This happened on Sunday. Listen to this quote, Congresswoman. ICE's primary contribution to the United States Congress has been to obstruct and to waste taxpayer dollars on trumped-up investigations that have led to nowhere. Congressman Issa responded by saying he is surprised that President Obama punched down. Congressman Issa is up for re-election, obviously, and the president has endorsed 30 Democrats for the House. But should he attack the congressman when there's already so much division in the country? And, of course, most voters know that there is corruption, and they're happy that Darrell Issa has been on the fight.
Wow, yeah. Darrell Issa has been involved in so many, and he has brought things to the forefront. He's exactly the type of congressman that we need to stay in Washington. So, when President Obama is out on the campaign trail, obviously where he feels the most comfortable, if it's not the golf course, it's the campaign trail. So here he is going after Darrell Issa in California. Absolutely ridiculous. Darrell Issa has done great work, and he's worked with the president on many instances as well. So it's curious to me. It's very political. Obviously.
John Hilsenrath.
Congresswoman, you sound very positive, in particular about Trump in North Carolina, just to bring it back to North Carolina, but the poll numbers we just showed have Hillary Clinton up. So tell us, what's the disconnect between what the polls are showing and what you're seeing on the ground?
Well, there again, it's the enthusiasm factor. I think really there are so many out there who are going to be voting for Donald Trump. I saw that in the primary. That's really the reason I put my support behind Donald Trump. I wasn't sure what it was. I was following the candidates. I thought I knew who I wanted to be president. And as each one of them dropped off in the primary, I started realizing, what is it that Donald Trump is doing that's resonating so much with North Carolinians? And I started having those conversations. People love him because he is a businessman. He is not a politician. He says it like it is, and he's a man of his word. So, they want someone to go to Washington and break up the system and fix the problems that exist in this country. Get this economy back on track. Make sure that we're the strongest as we are. Our military needs to be built up. So many things like this. Getting rid of Obamacare and putting in place a real patient-centered health care system in this country. All of these things are important to North Carolinians. And boy, I'll tell you, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to vote for Donald Trump that haven't been polled at all, probably haven't voted in 20 years if they've ever voted before, and they're going out for Donald Trump. I hear story after story just like that.
All right, we'll be watching that. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.